Most people when they approach the fearful situations, they don't even understand that. Look, like this is I'm supposed to feel this.
Yes.
And the fact that I'm feeling this means that I'm either about to break through something or I'm going in the right direction. Because if you just doing the same thing every day and you ain't doing nothing to create results for your life, you ain't gonna feel no fear anyway because you already doing things that's familiar to you.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player.
Back to the Dirty Trunk podcast where the elephant is always welcome. And it's me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. We are back.
We can hear you this time, Mark.
Hey, about time.
We can hear you this time, man. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, man. How you been doing, man? Because you know, if I get into the conversation of like the normal, like just let's talk about our week kind of situation, yeah, it might not be a good conversation this time. So we might want to go ahead and just glaze right over that one for the time being, man.
Surprisingly, man, it's been pretty boring. I thought my family was gonna do something for this Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, that's still a thing.
I thought it was.
Bro, I came home on Monday. I ain't smelled not one grill in the air. Not one grill.
Because, our family, we kind of do have like a pretty decent number of like servicemen and women. Like, my dad, he was in the service. His brother was in the service. And then he married. His wife was also in the service.
Then you got your brother.
Brother, uncles, grandpas, it's a pretty good number of them in there. That's why I thought we were gonna do something, but apparently, probably COVID was just
man. Everybody's still tripping over COVID, man. It's for those of you who are servicemen and women, we appreciate your service and thank you for everything you do.
Yes.
I know we a little late on that draw, but we like a whole week out, but still like we never pass up an opportunity to thank all of our servicemen and women out there, whether you police, firefighter, EMS, yeah, especially EMS, man, because we got a few of those that I'm friends with at our job. Everybody in like the safety department. So yeah, they're like a few of those are EMS workers. Of course, there's our LP manager. She's a volunteer firefighter and been doing it for years. Just had a TED talk last year. Man, it's for all of you out there, Matt, that like thank you. I failed to like acknowledge myself when it comes to Memorial Day. Like I don't know why that is. Like so there's like people who we work with that they know that I served before, and I served 8 years in the military in the Army Reserves. Few years active, like 3 years active, and rest Army Reserve. But for anybody who don't know, who haven't heard the podcast before, but like people just be like they approached me on Memorial Day and it was like, yeah, man, thank you for your service. I'm like,
oh really?
For working here? I like for working here? They're like, no, man, you served, didn't you? I was like, oh yeah.
You just forget.
I failed to. I don't know. It might just be a over humbleness kind of situation. But yeah, I just don't acknowledge myself when it comes to that. Like Veterans Day either, man. Like it even felt weird to me getting the VA loan to buy this house. So yeah,
Mm.
but we ain't gonna jump down that rabbit hole. I don't know what that's all about. It's not really that serious to me. But I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, the whole kind of gist of the topic kind of stemmed from like our servicemen and our servicewomen, because they get out there, especially the ones enlisted, they get out there every day, not knowing what's gonna happen. They're just there to follow orders, and they fight with their all. Uh, even getting to the jobs that they get to do or whatever, going through basic training. Because I remember when my brother, when he went to basic training, we was both about the same size or whatever. He came out, he was about the size of like, who can maybe just a little bit bigger than Matt. He didn't have that height, but he was that skinny. And I was like, yo, like, what are they feeding you?
Nothing. Oh,
Basically,
they feeding you pretty good in basic training. They just don't let you eat it.
like he survived off protein and water and whatnot. But just to go through those challenges, like mentally, physically, I got to thinking of like the average human, the average civilian. I'm just like, yo, we soft. Like we real soft out here. Like you got people like going to different countries at a whim. Like you might be chilling on the couch one day, doing your average job, and they're like, hey, we gotta go here. It's hostile territory. We gotta do this, this, and that. And then like 3 months, we're gonna come back. And I'm just like, you at a drop of a dime, you gotta go. You gotta be ready. And I'm just like, we can't do that. We civilians, we struggle just to change up our eating habits. And I'm just like, how? Why? Like what makes them so different from us? They're human beings just like us. They might have a little bit more, discipline, and they were trained for, other stuff, but
yeah. I would go in the detail and say like, like I don't know how much your brother explained to you. Like, well, first of all, wait, your brother is he Air Force, or he Air Force, right? Or is
no,
he
he's
Army?
Army.
He Army? Okay. I don't know how much detail he actually gave you of the basic training process, but like from start to finish, man, it's brutal.
Really?
It's absolutely brutal. And I know I kind of gave a little tidbit on it in the last few episodes about how basic training operate, how they break you down and build you back up to be, like this perfect soldier or whatever. And like it's like all pretty much experimental when they do it. And they are using tactics to rewire your brain from the civilian world. And it's so deep to the point that it sticks for the entirety of most people's careers until they get out, where they have to be trained to be a civilian again. Like they have to be trained to be a regular person and not on Uncle Sam's dime, because depression starts to kick in and all these other things like that. But that's beyond the point. But I'm just like going into telling you like how extensive the training process is when it comes to being a soldier. And I would say like in my life, I'll say once I started learning as a grown man what responsibilities are and how to take care of yourself, I recommend everybody, whether you're trying to be in the Army or not, I recommend everybody be like go to basic training or see what it feels like to just have everything ripped away from you. Because like you said, like people are soft, fam. Like for you to say like, oh, like I see people like they raise their kids and like their kids say some shit like, yo, I don't like my food touching. Like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here, bro. I had a grenade land on my plate, an incendiary grenade land on my plate in a training site, fam. Like, yo, like you. And I threw that bitch back and we ate it. Like I ate the food, fam. Like, yo, for real. Like you got people who like they complain about things that aren't even real problems. Right. Yet at the same time, you got people out here who don't even have the luxury of having the problem. that you have, and you still complaining about the problem that's in front of you, and it's not even that deep. So like I recommend everybody to, like every single human being, grown adult, to go through basic training in some form or capacity, like beyond scared street or something, like yo, for real, because like most people are soft, man. I agree with that.
I actually think they have. I don't know what the program is, but I know you can do like basic training or like a boot camp version of it for like a
uh
week to prepare you for basic training. Uh,
oh yeah, yeah.
Forgot what it was called, but it was
It's like something that
suggested.
the ROCT do. Like
Is it?
yeah, like they do that for like some of their star students that are interning to go into basic training. I've seen it a few times before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you were referring to like some unofficial something that's not part of the actual U.S. military or U.S. Department of Defense or anything like that.
I think it's a part of you. It's something you can like volunteer for as a civilian. And they give you like just like a little sliver of like basic training or something like that.
Mm.
Uh, is
Man, bro, like nobody could wrap basic training up in a few words to me to save their life, fam. Like, like I like within the first week of being in basic training, dog, I like almost broke my leg, um, uh, split the my calf bone from running so much. Got thrown in the gas chamber, got punched in the face by a drill sergeant. Like, yo, for real. Like I went through a lot in like the first week. Like you talking about, like most people today, like if you took their phones away for a day, bro,
they
they
have a
done. That's
meltdown.
the
Yep.
that's the whole psychological breakdown of basic training right there for them. Like you ain't got to give them the physical work. You just take their phone away for a week, they done.
That's crazy because we had associate work. Apparently, I don't know what's going on with revising, but I think their service was acting up, or the tower went down around that area,
Uh,
and people were just tripping, especially when because they was giving out that VTO, so people were just trying to like.
oh, oh, oh.
I had at least like 3 people asking, "Was like, hey, what service company you got?" I was like, AT&T. I was like, "You got service?" I'm like, it's like kind of spotty here, but I just used the Wi-Fi.
Right.
And it was strange because they don't use Wi-Fi at all for some strange reason. It's like I don't like using that. And I was like,
Who does that?
a
That's
couple of
weird.
us, so right?
That's
I was
weird.
like, it's free. You ain't got to use your data. Use it. Um, but I really think that people should get like a taste of like what our servicemen and servicewomen go through. I
Yeah.
know in Korea, you're obligated, like it's mandatory once you get like a certain age to at least I think serve for 4 years. I
Oh,
think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
Uh Learned that from Courtney. She watches a lot of K-pop. And then sometimes like when she's watching the show, like that actor such has to go serve, certain amount of time and then come back. And I was like, that's interesting, but that's pretty dope. It gives you a taste of like what service is like, what being tore apart, what being uh at your wits end
It
into
takes you
just
it takes you outside of yourself for a
yeah.
second. Yeah. Yeah, so most people do, like when they serve,
Mm-hmm.
nobody is serving for themselves.
Right.
Everybody is serving for a better purpose, a bigger purpose, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like family, and whether it's like they fully believe that they're keeping their country safe. And like people do it, like there are people like everywhere who like they really truly honestly go in and serve for their country. Like they're just like, yo, I want to keep America safe. I want to keep America great. Like, yo, let me go in and let me join my brothers and sisters in arms. And you can see it when like firefighters and police officers the
Oh yeah.
most, like they, like a police officer who wants to protect his community, and he's like, yo, I'm from here and I want to see this place safe. I had a friend who back in the day who went into the police academy because he had that same vision. He said, "Look, I'm from here, and this is my passion. I feel like I was put here, and I feel like it's my duty that God gave me to protect this community." He felt like that, so he went into the police academy. Most people who the selfish people, they wouldn't do that.
Right. And that rolls right into people's drive, especially those honored to serve. Their drive is so huge. And I think it's only because it's for something greater. It's something outside themselves. So they push a little bit more. They push a lot further. They go the extra mile to make sure, like you said, that their community is safe. That America is doing great. And with that mindset, like any and everything is possible. Because it's not it's not how much what's the saying? It's not how much dog is in the fight, it's how much fight is in the dog. And it reminded me of it was a podcast that I listened to recently, Bryant Chambers, the guy that he was talking about his service and how he basically came out of a suicide mission. So him and his I guess would be platoon or the people up under him, I don't know what rank he was, but basically he got kind of infiltrate like a hostile area or whatever.
Right.
And the enemy territory, you know, they had the higher ground, they had more whatever, and basically if they would have went, you know, they surely would have, you know, they wouldn't have made it out.
Right.
And he mentions how, like, you know, he had to break that down to his team, and they were just like, all right, I mean, wherever you go, we got your back. And he was just like honored. He was like, yo, it's not many people like that. So they get to going on a mission or whatever, and about like they didn't even make it into the area that they were getting to, but like them fighting and approaching the enemy like just so with confidence, so headstrong or whatever, the enemy retreated. And like the enemy, like they were in a position where they would have, it was like a slim chance that of them losing basically. And they were just like their spirit, their drive, that we're gonna get this done no matter what. It was kind of like the 300 movie, instead of them losing at the end though. And I was like, that's a nugget for life. Like, showing up takes more confidence than running away. Once you show up, there's nothing but either to do it or retreat. And if you're already running towards it, what's the point of retreating? Once you get there, you might not even have to put that much effort into it. That's a lot of times where our fear will set in. We overthink things. We go just overanalyze, and all you had to do was like literally just show up, do the work, and then you succeed.
So, a thing that I heard recently is that fear could stand for two things. It could be an acronym for two things. The first acronym: false evidence appearing real.
Yep.
And that brings me to the another statement of that. No matter what your fear is, whether it's a fear of public speaking, a fear of roaches, a fear of falling out of a plane with no parachute, bruh, no matter what the situation is, fear itself is an emotion, and it's the exact same in every situation. And in each of those situations, you can like overcome it and keep moving the fuck on. The second acronym for fear is face everything and rise. Most people when they approach the fearful situations, they don't even understand that. Look, like this is I'm supposed to feel this,
Yes.
and the fact that I'm feeling this means that I'm either about to break through something or I'm going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just doing the same thing every day and you ain't doing nothing to create results for your life, you ain't gonna feel no fear anyway because you already doing things that's familiar to you. And you got people who out here who their main job and their main goal, their duty, they're obligated to face the fear. And here you are sitting on the couch looking at us do a podcast and you can't face fear when it comes at you doing simple situations, doing, okay, let me go ask this person for something. Let me go ask this person for what I
Mm-hmm.
need. I'm scared. I'm not going to ask. Meanwhile, somebody on the other side of the world, they got ripped up from their homes. They got a weapon in their hand that belongs to the government, your government that you're still paying taxes to, and they are being told that they have to. And,
Mm-hmm.
and let me make this clear. Like for those of you who may not know, that situation that Marcus just said, about the people going in the hostile situation. Do you think if you over there, right? You think if you over there in the dirt and you sharing a tent with these people who you call your brothers and sisters, do you think they have an option to do that? You think that they all right, we just about to go on a mission. Who wanna come?
Right.
Who want to come? Who call a shotgun? You think they get an option? Absolutely not. They do not get an option. So you got people who are brave enough to fight for your ass, and you ain't even brave enough to ask for what you want out of life.
Thanks.
Mm,
Thanks. Uh,
mm,
thinking about that, especially fear, I kind of came to a realization that when we're so fearful about something, it's usually it's not what our mind. So our mind is, it's made to solve problems.
yeah,
So when we fear something, of course, we're gonna be like, all right, hey, our brain is like, hey, this is a little unsafe, we're a little scared. And usually we're just overthinking it. The fear's over here, but usually the problem is like it's always right there in the middle.
yeah,
Like it's not that scary, or like we're just overthinking it over here
yeah.
that it's too much, and then we actually do it and it's just like it wasn't that hard at all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and fear can creep up on you. Uh I have a testimony. I went rock climbing with my church one time.
Oh,
And we went to the rock climbing building or something, and I think it's close to like Virginia Beach or
oh,
Richmond
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I'm sitting there, I'm climbing on the janks, I'm doing the weird shaped looking ones, doing the regular jank that's like high up in the air. And I was doing good. I wasn't really scared. I wasn't really thinking about, nothing else. I was just, doing it, having a good time.
Let me guess.
But I seen one of the kids get scared. He got like real high up. He got scared. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fall." He's like, "Nah, you're harnessed up. You're good." So last jank I went on, it was one of the ones where you hit the buzzer at the top.
Yeah,
I get close to the top. I'm like inches away from the buzzer thingy. Uh, but like it's one of the ones where if you take a certain path, uh, the rocks it will be like a big gap. So you
yeah.
either have to like jump or like do something crazy. And I was like, I don't feel like going back down to reposition myself. I'm trying to get it. And then all of a sudden I freeze. I'm like stuck. And I'm like, what the fuck? I made it up here. Like I'm gonna get down. And like knees shaking, arms weak. And I'm just like, yo, what
What
is
is this?
this? They like, you can come on down. You've been up there for a little while. I was like, yo, I'm stuck. Like I don't know what's going on. Like I'll admit I'm scared. It's like, just let go. And I was like, I can't. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Bruh.
But eventually I did let go and like jump down. But like it can creep up that fast, and it's either you just go for it, you just do it,
Mm.
or you're gonna be paralyzed.
Nah.
I'd really say fight through it, like fight your damn hardest, because like I wanted to hit that buzzer too so bad. Like I was like, if I could just like swing my body weight upwards or something, or jump, maybe I could. But uh, living with like the regret afterwards of like not doing something you were just so close to getting,
Mm.
it's not where you want to be.
Mm.
So fight through it. I say fight through it. Fear is gonna come, like you said. It's a natural emotion. It's what the brain does to protect itself.
Mm.
But like I said, most of the time it's not that serious. It's our brain exaggerates things to the max. Uh, all you have to do sometimes, just take some time to yourself, just breathe it out, and then go for it. Sometimes you're not in a situation where you have to, so just don't even think about it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I want to like put a heavy emphasis on that false evidence thing.
Yeah.
That false evidence thing, man. Like you got people who been doing something like, all right, like you got a person who horseback riding. Like just an example, they horseback riding. And they've been horseback riding since they was like 4 years old, whatever the case is. They started real young. And this is a microcosm for everything out there. Like people get to the point where they make a mistake. They make one mistake and they throw their whole game off. They throw their whole game off. You see it all the time. They made movies about this thing right here, man. Like somebody, they do something, and I right now I can't think of a movie like that comes to mind, but I do remember seeing a few where this happened, where somebody they did something from there for like damn near their entire life, and then all of a sudden when they screw up at it, they make a mistake. They've had that one accident. Now all of a sudden they can't get back to it. Now they in limbo because they feel like every time they go do it, they're afraid of doing it, but they can't stay away from it because that's their passion. Bruh, y'all gotta break out of that circle, man. Y'all gotta break out of that cycle, man. Being afraid of things that they don't even make sense. You making up stuff in your mind. The thing that you afraid of ain't even happened yet. And you got people around you telling you that it ain't even possible for it to happen. And you still coming up with excuses as to why you can't get back to doing what you need to do. Meanwhile, like everybody else is telling you, like, yo, we got you, you good, you straight, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and make it happen. Like this is what you good at. Go ahead and do that, and we'll worry about everything else. They tell you that, and you still like, I can't do it. It's just it ain't gonna work. Like you out here making up all these excuses about why you can't move forward, why you can't chase those dreams that you want, why you can't open up that business that you said you wanted. You're making up excuses. Well, what if another person is doing it? Well, oh, goddamn well, you won't be the first to do it and you won't be the last to do it. It don't even matter. But you know you're capable of doing it. But you're afraid of something that you have made up in your mind. And half of the time, like it's that face everything and rise thing we getting back to. Face everything and rise. Half of the time, like most people, they get to the point where it's like, I did it. Now I don't even know why the fuck I was so afraid in the first place. I don't understand. Why was I so scared to do that? It doesn't make sense. That just damn. Now it's like, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell a younger version of yourself if you were to give yourself advice? Don't be a little bitch. Like,
keep on that path, that straight and narrow path, man.
Yeah, man.
I do remember a movie, but I don't know. Her story was a little different. You remember the movie they had of the surfer girl?
Oh yeah, the one that got attacked by the shark. Yeah. But even though, like, still, she faced it. She faced it. She's like, okay, like how people gonna feel about me if I'm still doing this with one arm? Well, I mean, you doing it with one arm, they're gonna feel like they need to step their goddamn game up. Like, like for real. Like you got, like, for real, man. Whoo. All right. And I'm gonna go here, man.
Mm,
Everybody know, like, if you know me personally, you know that I'm a wrestling fan.
yeah.
You know, I'm a hardcore wrestling fan. I've been to countless shows. I can't even imagine how much money I've spent on pay-per-views and going to sit in the arena just to like see one of my favorite wrestlers come down the ramp, bro. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I don't know why. It don't make sense to me. That also doesn't make sense to me, but I it was a habit that I picked up by with my father when I was real young. He used to sit me down next to him and watch wrestling. That's not the point. But for whatever reason, I can't remember this kid's name, but he came up in conversation recently. But it's this kid, man, who my man ain't had no legs, bro. He was a full a double amputee, bro, and he was wrestling, fam. He was
What?
wrestling, fam, with no legs, dog, just arms. Like he was wrestling, fam. Like
Hmm.
yo, I didn't understand it. But like, I was like, yo, for real, like this probably just some gimmick shit that WWE pull. Vince McMahon be on some petty bullshit every now and then. He's just like,
Mm-hmm.
he he just go ahead and throw a story out there and don't care about how insensitive he make his whole brand look, and then he just like bounce back from it like miraculously, and like everybody just forget about it and act like the shit didn't happen. But I guess that's white man with power for you. However, this kid, he comes out and he's part of this storyline where everybody's like making fun of him and all this other stuff. They like trying to push him down and pick on him and all that. Bruh, tell me why this dude went a full storyline, bruh. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correctly, bruh, I think he ended up winning the title. They ended up letting him go as far as winning the title, bruh.
Come on.
They ended up letting him get the title, bro. He ended up winning the title, and he was doing stuff. And it wasn't like they
Mm-hmm.
were like using this dude as like a marionette puppet or something in the ring. Like they was like, dude was actually doing moves, bro. Like he couldn't pick nobody up and slam him, but bro, he was doing stuff that that people with legs couldn't do. That was my whole point there. Like, he was doing stuff that people with legs, that people with full capabilities, arms, toes, all that they couldn't do. And why do I say that? Why did I go there? It's because there are people who like even in the wrestling world, like as an example, like man, you can kind of go with this in like in the football world, basketball, like all that stuff. Like people who are like they feel like they're on the bench, they're waiting for their big shot, they're waiting for that big opportunity to go do something or go do or for somebody to call them up, but they're not doing everything that they possibly can to make sure that they're gonna get called up
Right.
because of that fear. But meanwhile, you got people who got half the capability that you have, but they're doing more. They're doing way more work.
Yeah.
They executing on a higher level than you will ever execute, and they getting called up. So now you sitting back looking like, damn man, I wish I had did that. And meanwhile, you afraid. You afraid, and it's a double entendre right here. You afraid that they're not gonna call you up. You afraid. You definitely afraid that they're not gonna call you up. But yet you ain't afraid enough to the point where you are moving your feet and executing the way you're supposed to execute.
Right. And that goes back to that reminds me of I think ET says it a lot. You're already there, you're already fearful, you're already going through the pain, you're already crying about it.
Yep.
Just work through it. If that fear comes, all right, let me work even harder. So I have no excuse for that fear to come in and be like crippling to me. And that goes with anything you're trying to learn how to play an instrument, how to wrestle, do sports, anything in life. Talk to that girl. She might be into you this entire time, and you're just like, nah, I ain't gonna ask her. She probably ain't.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Bro, fear almost caused me to miss the opportunity in my relationship.
And that's how underestimated. underestimated, we give fear. Like, well, we don't really underestimate it. We give it too much power, and it has so many changes to life.
Yeah.
If we would just stop being fearful, well, not even stop being fearful, because you need fear.
Yeah.
You really do
Right.
need fear. Working through that fear,
Yeah. Yeah.
feeling it, internalize it, and just do what you need to do to get through it.
Yeah.
Figuring it out. All right, what do I need to do to approach her? Maybe I should start out with a joke. Maybe I should, kind of ease both of us so we won't be so fearful, because she might be fearful. Yeah, she might be showing some type of fear also. So just, like I said, take that breather, take that time to learn, figure out a game plan, approach situation with confidence. Really,
Right.
that's the key thing right there, with confidence.
Would you say that that fear is the number one thing that stops people from doing what they need to do in their lives?
Yes.
Like, I
Fear
feel like
and
that sounds like a
overthinking.
dumb question, and it feels like a question that is like self-exclamatory. But like I asked that question because it's like I was kind of spacing out for a second, just like kind of thinking about something that I've been through myself. Like for the most part, people wait until this perfect opportunity or this perfect moment where they feel no fear to move forward, and they feel like they idolize, like people idolize people, right? And I've been here before. I've been here. I swear I've been here. You idolize somebody, you look up to somebody, and you say, "Damn, I wish I can do what they do. Damn, I wish I had the talent that they had. Damn, I wish I had the skill that that person had." But what you fail to realize, like you looking at them, they make it look so easy. You thinking that okay, they ain't even afraid of nothing. They just fearless. They ain't got Evil Knievel. He ain't never feared anything, right? Like he just made all these jumps and hopping over canyons and shit, and he ain't never had no fear, right? And you just like, all right, I guess I gotta keep on doing whatever it is. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I gotta keep on doing whatever I need to do to make sure there is absolutely no fear. Absolutely no fear. All right. Let me tell you how that's gonna work. You're gonna keep going in the same cycle of trying to learn things, trying to do things, half-ass and doing things, by the way. You're not completely committing to the things that you want to do because you still feel that fear. You're like, okay, let me try it now. Oh, nope. I still feel it. I'm gonna back up. And you're still idolizing this one person, and you're still like looking at them like, man, I wonder how they got there. Man, I wish I can do what they did. Man, I wish I knew what they did to get to where they are. And meanwhile, if you ever ask them, like, oh, if you ever ask like one of the shit, the number one motivational speaker in the world would tell you that he still feel fear when he step on stage. Bruh, you can't fight it. You can't fight that. That doesn't go away. That fear is important. That fear keeps you in check. That fear keeps you in a space where it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go do this, and because I feel fear, let me make sure I do it right. Because I don't want to. What I do fear, it's not the action of doing it. It's the process that I have to endure when I do it wrong. So you think you feel in fear of doing the action, when in all reality, you really fear not doing it. And because you fear not doing it,
you don't do
it.
Right.
Let me tell you how evolution works, though, right? Let me tell you how evolution works. You fear it at first when it comes to doing it. They say that public speaking is the number one fear in all human beings. I have no idea how that works. Public speaking is the number one fear in all human beings. I used to be afraid of public speaking. I remember sitting in front of a class trying to read an essay that I wrote for Dreams Deferred project, just telling people what I like, how I wanted to, like what I dreamed of doing in my life, or writing my goals down, which everybody know for a fact right now that I have no problem doing. I have no problem telling you what my goals are right now. I have no problem giving you a whole motivational sermon based off of my goals alone. I have no problem doing that. Everybody knows that. But there was a time in my life, where I was standing in front of a classroom in 2009, in the year 2009, in front of maybe 14 other classmates that were all about the same age, between 16 to 17 years old, where I was afraid, absolutely afraid of reading that paper. I wasn't even speaking. I was reading, and I was still afraid of doing it. I, at that point, was afraid of the action. I was afraid of what they would think once I got up there to start doing what I was doing, which was counterintuitive because I was afraid. I didn't do it right. I misperformed. I didn't perform well, and they judged me negatively based off of that alone. What you had to realize is that, you had to take all that fear and make it internal. Because you can't say, all right, I'm afraid because I don't want people to judge me.
Yeah.
Huh. People judge Jesus, fam.
Yes.
People judge Jesus, bro. Like, come on. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about? Are you saying you're trying to be better than Jesus before you execute? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. You got to look. Here's how evolution works. At first, you're afraid of what they think about you. Once you realize that you're not afraid of what they think about you, you go back in, you do the same thing. Now you're going to be afraid of not what they think about you, because you don't care about that. You move past that. Now it's only what you think about yourself. Now you are afraid of performing badly. Now after that, after you like, all right, I'm gonna have good ones, I'm gonna have bad ones. Now it is, once you get past that, is now I'm afraid of not being able to do this again because this is what I want to do. Ooh. There's levels to it. You'll never not feel it. It's not possible. That's not how the human brain works. You know who ain't afraid of nothing?
Dead people.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that worked too. We can go with that answer, but I was gonna say the Joker. Oh. The Joker ain't afraid of nothing. And I ain't talking about the Jared Leto Joker. I'm talking about the Heath Ledger Joker. He wasn't afraid of nothing. Ooh. Look how that made him. You want to be like that?
Oh. Man, bless that man heart and his soul.
R.I.P. man, Heath Ledger. He was the greatest Joker of all time, man. Nobody will ever be able to.
But that goes to show right into the topic. Like your mindset, first of all, your confidence, and what you're willing to put in and fight. Like he wanted to be. We don't really know his true goals.
Oh man,
but. Yeah. What do they call him? They call him Methodist acting, the one where they embody that character.
They embody the whole spirit of their character. Yeah, he literally turned into the character. They said that man had them on set scared. Like it was like, yo, we don't want to.
They're like, coming today. Oh man.
Like what scene are we doing today? Oh fuck, we gotta call him in again. We gotta do that scene, not that scene. No, let's not do that scene. Let's wait till the end to do that one. God, yeah, man. You talking about, bro? Like, can you imagine? Like, there was probably people who turned that role down because they're like, yo, you want me to do what? You want me to do what, bro? I ain't doing that. I am not doing that. I just think about like how many things in life we wouldn't have if like people were afraid to do the things that they wanted to do.
Exactly. We wouldn't have smartphones. We wouldn't have.
Oh, we wouldn't be doing a Zoom call right now for one thing. Like, let's think of one person. Like, I can think of one person who could have changed the entire scope of reality if he had been too afraid to not make a move. Shit, Bill Gates.
Facts.
If he was too afraid to make a move, bro, we wouldn't have computers. Like Microsoft wouldn't be a thing.
Hell
Google
no.
probably wouldn't be a thing. No, actually, I've read his story. Google definitely would not be a thing if he was too afraid to.
Come
And
on.
he didn't even do it. Think about how deep that is. He didn't even make Google, but because Google is what it is, Google's success story, Google of their whole operating system based off of Bill Gates. Whole operating
Come on.
system based off of his work, his line of work, bro. Do you know that Linux is an operating system? And I'm a nerd out on y'all for a second. Y'all know I'm an IT dude, right? Linux is the operating system that runs just about every fucking thing. Everything, gas pumps, microwaves, stoves, heaters, like anything that has a mind of its own, where it's like, okay, you got an operating system that tells you, like, it got a digital timer or whatever, like it has like smart functions or whatever the case is. Pretty much like all of those things are ran by Linux operating systems, bruh. Linux was created because of they were, let me get this right. I read the story. The founder of Linux used to work for Microsoft. I think that was the case. He used to work for Microsoft, fam. Like, yo, there are things in life that if you just had the guts to do, there could be so many things created as a domino effect of just your contribution to life.
Yep.
And
Recently, that same day, I listened to Brian Chambers. I was just on like a podcast binge for some strange reason this day.
happens.
Tiffany Haddish. I was listening to Kevin Hart's Gold Mines, the new podcast he has. I don't know how new it is because it has like a bunch of episodes of him talking to other comedians. And the one I listened to was about Tiffany Haddish. Even though she had like a rough past, she's out here killing the comedian scene, doing things that other comedians aren't doing. She wants to be the first. She wants to like partner with like clothing lines and all this other stuff, of Vogue or something like that. And just alone, her going out there and trying to do all this stuff, her and her team, she has opened jobs for so many people. She also gives back to her community because she was in foster care. A lot of people don't really know. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
She went through the system. She went through a couple of abusive relationships, and she has a program, suitcases to people.
Oh, say that again. You cut out for a second. She has a program that do what now?
Give out suitcases to people in to the kids in foster care.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
Because she was like, when she was in the system or whatever, all she had to carry her things were trash bags, and sometimes they would get mixed up in the trash and people would throw them away because they think it's trash. And she was just like, just going through that little situation alone made her feel like trash. Like she was the situation she went through, going like through families or whatever, the first thing you think of when you're getting moved out of a family is like, yo, what did I do wrong? I was cleaning, I was doing everything, right or whatever. But usually some cases it's just the court system does what the court system does best, wreck shit. Not always.
Really?
What?
I didn't know that was the thing. Like, they were just like, with no probable cause, they just like rip a person like out of their home. Like, that's like they'll have a adopted child and they just automatically just rip them up. Is that what you? That's what she's saying.
Not like break them up like that. I think it's more of if you're in a foster home, instead of actually getting adopted, because you do have people that will hold like the kids for until their legal parent or something gets better, or they we were watching a show, me and Courtney, about these two the lesbian couple or whatever, not the Fosters, something different.
He had to go there, not the Fosters.
Because
That was a good show, by the
it
way.
was,
That was a
it
good show.
was, it was, but it was kind of like the Fosters. All right, they took this kid and they had the kid. It was supposed to have her for 3 months. But since COVID happened, some things got pushed back. They ended up having her for like 2 years and a half or something, or a year and a half, something like that. And they totally forgot. They got so attached that they forgot that once her mom gets better, they gotta leave. They gotta give her back.
Oh man,
and, bro, it broke them. Like they were some good actors because like they had me almost bawling. I was like, yo, that hurt. Like
you start cutting out.
All that to say, was I right there?
Yeah.
Okay. All that to say is just like do the work, do the grind, because you can provide for so many more people. Get out of yourself, because most of the time, if you're doing it for yourself, you're not gonna get, a couple of feet. You might take that one step, but then you're taking 2 steps back because it's just you get that fear. You don't have that drive enough to go for it.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have been through something traumatic to have that drive. Just find something you're passionate about, and it could push you in so many ways. It could teach you to just dig and fight for whatever you want to do in life.
Yeah, man. One thing that I want to like share, and it's something that was shared with me, and it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because like I had this notion of like, look, I'm just gonna stay to myself. I'm just gonna keep it. Like whatever I got inside of me, like I got to a point, bro. I got so tired of fighting, and I thought I was fighting. I wasn't really fighting for real. Like I got tired of fighting the fight that I was fighting, and somebody was just like, "Yo, how dare you?" I was like, what?
Excuse me?
Excuse me? Like, how dare you, bro? Like, for real, like, yo, you got a brilliant mind, and you telling me that you are not going to share it with the rest of the world? You know what you could do to this world if you were to blow up and be successful. And that's why I got the concept of symbiosis, man. Like, just because you do one thing doesn't mean you just gonna do that one thing for the world. You could do one thing for the world, and it opens the world's eyes to a point where it's like, okay, we have the capability of doing that. Let's just expand on that. Let's just expand on that one thing. Like, yo, for real, like how many if we go back to the Steve Jobs thing, man, the Microsoft thing. Yeah, Microsoft ain't the only operating system, bro.
These are facts.
And it ain't the first. It ain't even the first, bro. Like, yo, it's crazy. Henry Ford with the automobile, bro. Like, yo, my man wanted to make the Model T. How many car companies do we have now? I lost count.
Too many.
I lost count, bro. But it was all because one man's vision was able to change a whole reality. One man's vision created so many different pathways for so many different human beings, and you can't do nothing but give them credit. And the thing is, that could be you. That could be you. While you sitting down saying, while you sitting down telling yourself and telling everybody else that you can't do something and giving all type of excuses as to why you can't, somebody has did it. These are just the facts. Somebody has done it, but you can do it better. You know what they did already, and you can find out how they got there, and you could do it better. And if you did it better, think about how many people would be better off. First of all, because nobody has ever got successful. Nobody has ever gained or amassed a lot of success without helping others. That is how you become successful. You help others. You gave them. You solved the problem for them, for those people. First of all, you solved problems for the rest of the world. You became successful because you solved problems for the rest of the world. And then not only did you fix the rest of the world, you showed your children the way of solving problems for the rest of the world. And then your children, they grow up to carry on that same responsibility of helping the rest of the world. Then you got generations on top of generations of people who know the value of helping others. But if you are afraid to do anything from the beginning, then you never do anything from the world.
And like you said, that stops a whole lot. If you would go back to think of like, what if this person quit? You just reminded me of a story about the I forget his name, but he was a runner or whatever, and he broke the record because back then they didn't know it was humanly possible to run a mile in this allotted time. He shatters the record, and then it just opens doors. Like the next person that tried it, he shatters it. Next person shatters it, and I'm just like,
this was deep, Mark.
First of all, I was just like, what were we thinking, that we couldn't do this?
Because won't nobody doing it. Ain't nobody ever moved their legs that fast. Hey, bro, and you think about it. Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt started running at record-breaking speeds, and then next thing you know, other people start breaking records. Like, come on. Like, and it's crazy that you brought that up, because that same philosophy, that same belief, that limiting belief that people couldn't run that fast, once they broke that belief and people started running that fast on a normal, they start making we started talking about servicemen and women, right? You got a PT test in the Army. You got a PT test. The PT test was built off of that same philosophy, fam. Off the same philosophy. Now I tell you like this, because the military definitely was out before that guy did that, broke that record for that running. That happened back in the 19. I know exactly what story you talk about. It was like the 1950s, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like for real, I can't even think of how many times I like how many stories I read about Stan Lee not wanting to continue what he was doing, bro. But I promise you, if Stan Lee didn't do what he was doing, bro, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. That's just a lot. That's just how it is, bro. That's just how it is. And I gotta continue doing what I'm doing. I gotta be vigilant and making it happen. And I gotta make sure that my fear doesn't get in the way of me doing it, because I'm stepping in new territory too. I can easily say, look, bro, like, yo, you ain't never sold no book before, and you a black man from the hood. You've been sitting on this idea for 10 years. I could have looked at the fact that I've been sitting on it for 10 years and just been afraid to put it out because I've been sitting on it for 10 years. I could have used that as an excuse. Oh, I've been sitting on it for 10 years. Don't nobody want to read this. Bro, and yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you did it, because that same story, you're a black man from the hood. Putting that out might inspire somebody else from the hood to put out their book.
Absolutely.
And that's basically what this podcast is for, is to inspire and lead people to follow their dreams, follow their passion, and put whatever you want out there. Just even if it's, I ain't gonna say small, because it might be big to you. Even if it seems to you that it's trivial, don't put that in your mindset, because people want something new. People want to hear people's story. People will read the book just to read the book, for real. So why not do it? A lot of times we get in the mind, the headspace of oh, woe is me. Why should I do this? Why shouldn't you do it? Why not you? So if no one else says, I'm proud of you, bro. Like you inspire me.
All right, so on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode of the Dirty Trump Podcast. This was a good one. I didn't know where we was going with this one, with this. It was definitely a good conversation. Definitely a reminder to everybody out there to stay strong.
Yes.
Because
Like
strength is what's going to get you through it. I know we talked about fear, and conquering fear and not feeling fear, but the fact of the matter is that strength is the real thing that's going to get you through it. So be strong and hold yourself accountable. Do the things that you say you're going to do, and don't fold. Do not fold. Fear no longer stands. Fear no longer stands for false evidence appearing real. Fear from now on stands for face everything and rise. And you will, from this point on, face everything that comes into your path and rise through each and every occasion that you go through in your life. And we're going to end this episode.
Amen. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, but the elephant is always welcome.
Make sure you like this, like the content, leave a review and all of those good things. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, and be sure to check out all of our social media platforms, as well as ajmcmullen.com, where you can purchase my book, The Gym State Siege. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I am Aaron Mack. And that is
Morton.
And peace, love y'all. See y'all next time.